like quicksand. Only it took one touch of her hand. Blow my mind and I'm in so deep that I can't eat y'all and I can't sleep. Na 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 na. Listen, hush, hush. Thought I heard her calling my name. Now hush, hush. She broke my heart, but love it just seemed. Now hush, hush. Thought I heard her calling my name. Now hush, hush. I need the love of the night, not to play now. You got her early in the morning. You got her late in the evening. Oh, more than needed. Hey, I got her head in.
It's time for a little fun, a few laughs, and a whole lot of truth. The John James Show is on Legacy 1160 WSKW.
Bum, 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 bum. How you doing? Happy Monday. Hold on here a minute. It's going to be fine. Going to get the right log going here. Okay, good. Here we are. I'm John James. This is Freedom's Pep Rally. And we are just about ready to go. I'm going to start out with a little levity this morning, I think. See what I've got. It's 9:17 here on Legacy 1160 WSKW. And I want to start. Oh, you know what I can do? I can start out with show and tell. Show and tell, it's a game I play. All right, beef jerky. My buddy Bruce Holmes, who I meet with regularly here at the radio station, he's a realtor, and we're both into meat and spices. So I went out and I bought a dehydrator a week ago, I guess, about a week ago, and I ordered my beef jerky gun so I could do ground beef jerky, as opposed to having to cut up the little slice. I'm just not good at the knives. So that's what I did. Bruce, on the other hand, did jerky. He used high premium quality, high test beef. And I'll be honest with you, I like his better. I'll show you, if you're watching on the video right now, he's got nice thin little slices. So good. Why did I just take a bite of that? I couldn't resist. That's why. Now mine with the hamburger is much thicker. His is tastier, by the way. This is mine. It's harder to bite off, but once you bite it off, it chews up nicely. But his has a saltier flavor. I did maple jalapeno. It's very hot. and he did teriyaki. He did very good. Better cut of meat. So there it is. My show and tell. And it's very rude for me to be chewing here on the radio. So, and beef jerky isn't one and done. I mean, you don't pop it in, chew it, and swallow it. You have to chew and chew and chew. So while I'm doing that, while I'm rudely doing that, why don't we go back in time, take a look at this day in history, and then we will be back and we will get things going. It is October the 5th, and this is the Associated Press.
October 5th, 2001. A new scare for Americans just weeks after the September 11th terror attacks. Robert Stevens, a tabloid photo editor in Florida, dies from inhaled anthrax. He's the first of 5 people to die from anthrax-laced letters, which also infect more than a dozen others in the United States. The cases remain unsolved. 1988. In Omaha, Nebraska, a memorable moment during a debate between 2 candidates for vice president. Republican Dan Quayle argues he has as much experience as John F. Kennedy did when he was elected president. Democrat Lloyd Benson replies,
I served with Jack Kennedy. I knew Jack Kennedy. Jack Kennedy was a friend of mine. Senator, you're no Jack Kennedy.
1962.
Love me do. You know I love you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Beatles. Love Me Do, the first hit by rock's Fab Four, is released in Britain. Beatlemania sweeps America more than a year later. 1969. Also in Britain, Monty Python's Flying Circus debuts on BBC TV. The comedy series, with its absurd gags about silly walks, dead parrots, and spam, becomes a cult hit in the United States. And 2001. Barry Bonds of the San Francisco Giants becomes baseball's king of single-season home runs. He hits 2 homers against the Los Angeles Dodgers, breaking Mark McGwire's record of 70. Bonds ends the season with 73 home runs, still the record, nearly 6 years before topping Hank Aaron's record of career home runs. Today in history, October 5th, Mike Gracia, The Associated Press.
Hi. Happy Monday. It's all done. I swallowed my jerky. I got to tell you, beef jerky is a gift from God. I like my little dehydrator. It's my first batch, though. I cut myself a little slack. It's all right. It's hot. It's jalapeno-y, and I do like the spice. Not many people will get into it that hot, though. I'm certain of that. It's a 9:21 here on Legacy 1160 WSKW. John James at your service. And here we go. Let's make it happen. Let's see what's going on here. Getting some Facebook comments in here already. Maxwell, every once in a while someone awesome comes along. Here I am. Amen, Maxwell. You are awesome, brother. I'm going to give you the big heart emoji. Top of the morning, Dick and Dottie and Casey and whoever else is watching right now on the live stream. Here 9 to noon, and of course 6 to 9 with Mike Violet, 9 to noon here with me. I'm John James, by the way. And lots of happenings over the weekend. Lots of stuff to talk about this morning. Let's start right out talking about Maine and schools. Molly Woodbury is a junior at Massabesic High School. And on Thursday, she was kicked out of Zoom math class. This is really, I've got a couple of examples of schools, public schools, going a little bit too far. It's one thing to have rules at school, but when you start dictating how a kid has to behave, at what they can wear, what they can have in the background, this is where you've gone too far. So what happened to Molly Woodbury? Well, she had a Trump flag hanging behind her in her bedroom. That's where she does her schoolwork. That's where she had her computer set up. She said it had been up for about a week. It's never really been an issue, she said. Nothing has ever been said about it until the other day. At which point she was asked by her math teacher to remove the flag in her bedroom. She was asked to take the flag down. And she said, well, you know, I'm in my bedroom and it's not offensive, so why do I have to? It simply has Donald Trump's name on it, and, you know, if it triggers somebody, too damn bad. They should be concentrating on studying, not what's hanging or in somebody else's room at their house. Now, we've seen this time and time again all across the country, whether it be political, and it's always right. I've never seen anybody kicked off for having something supporting Biden. I mean, who would have anything supporting Biden anyway, in my humble opinion? But I haven't heard of anything. However, I have heard of a BB gun and a toy gun having the police called to the home by the school because the teacher was triggered by a multicolored toy gun and one by a BB gun standing in one kid's corner. And now in Maine, we've got a Trump flag hanging up. She got a notification telling her she had been removed from the meeting, the Zoom meeting, by the host, who was the teacher at the school. And Channel 6, News Center Maine, did a report on it. And this starts out with student Molly Woodbury, and then you'll hear the host and Woodbury's mother chime in here. But this is from News Center Maine.
My right to have my own opinion was taken away by her.
Woodbury's mom, Amanda Morrison, was shocked.
And I said, well, why would you get kicked off?
Woodbury missed most of her class, which was concerning to her parents.
She is losing her right to learn. I love that she's, intrigued with politics because that's not something that everybody gets into.
Just to know what's going on in our world.
Woodbury says she was back in math class on Friday, but the teacher didn't acknowledge her at all.
I just don't really want her to hate me or have anything against me because of this.
Now, see? Now this student, it doesn't matter though, does it? It doesn't matter to the school that Molly Woodbury is now, she's got to be worried about facing this teacher, afraid the teacher is going to hate her because she had a Trump flag hanging in her room. She's engaged. You would think, wouldn't you, in a normal, free society, that a teacher, an educator, would be happy that a student is engaged in the political process, regardless of who they support. That's a teacher's job, to support the students, to acknowledge that the student is engaged and celebrate it. But no, not if you're a leftist teacher. You get triggered and you remove the student from remote class. And that's what happened to Molly Woodbury. God bless her. Is it any wonder why people like Savannah Lynn, our friend from the Savvy Truth, is it any wonder she is homeschooled and very, very engaged? It's no wonder, is it? Is it any wonder? We want to see more private schools opening up where this isn't an issue. Public schools have become indoctrination centers by the leftist branch of the government. I don't know. I shouldn't know what a teacher's political beliefs are. Nobody should. But all too often, they find out if the teacher is a leftist. Conservative teachers, however few there are, aren't like that. And if they are, prove it. Prove it. Now listen, I'm open to debate. I'm open to proof. I'll admit it if I say something that's wrong, but I don't believe, based on statistics, that I'm wrong. They are mostly leftist places, from grammar school to high school to college. Yeah, the public colleges are the biggest indoctrination centers. So let's move into our next little piece here. This is a Central Maine school. I posted this yesterday. A friend of mine here in Central Maine posted something very troubling on Facebook about her 11-year-old daughter's school. Now, without mentioning any names of the poster or the student, here is what the post said. I'm probably going to regret asking this as it's political. However, I'm going to share anyway. At school, Central Maine School, in history class, they had blank's class watch part of the presidential debate. Okay, very good. Why not? Get them engaged early, right? Oh, but wait. Afterward, the teacher asked the class who they liked. Blank said every student picked Trump. And the teacher got upset and started ranting multiple reasons. Blank said it was nonstop reasons why she thinks Biden is the better choice. Well, nobody asked her. First of all, she asked them. Nobody asked her what she thought. This is 7th grade history. I felt the need to discuss this. Shouldn't she have asked students for pros and cons of both sides? Whoa. Well, that sounds to me like a parent who should be a teacher. Does it not? Nobody asked the teacher. If one of the students had said to the teacher, who are you voting for? Who do you like? Should the teacher have said, obviously the teacher thought Joe Biden because she told everybody without asking them if it was okay or if they wanted to hear who she was in favor of. She just went off on how Joe Biden was a better choice, going against the parents' wishes, I'm sure, of many, if not all, of these students who all said Trump was the better choice. So if she was asked, if the teacher was asked, what would be the appropriate thing to do? Probably, I'm not at liberty to discuss that. I'm in a position where I am teaching you, and you really shouldn't know my political opinions. That would have been the appropriate response, or simply, well, personally, I'm voting for Joe Biden. But you don't, unquestioned, go off on a list of reasons why you think the other candidate is better, basically telling your students, telling the people you are teaching that they are dumb. They are too dumb to know what's good for them, and this is why Joe Biden is better. If I was a parent in that school, I would be right in there this morning, and I hope the parents are. This is Central Maine, but it's no different than anywhere else because things are going crazy now. People you would never expect to do stupid things are doing stupid things. By the way, this was a live in-person class. This was not a Zoom class. This was live in person. Because I've got a feeling, had this happened on a Zoom class where parents are listening in, I can guarantee you that. Parents who are concerned are listening in, and they should be listening in. When there's a Zoom class, I encourage parents to listen in. Stay in the background, but listen, and see what the kids are being told. This is so important now. And now with distance learning, you've got a great opportunity to find out how far the teachers go in their indoctrination process. Now, this school, I will tell you that it is north of Augusta. That's all I know. And it's south of Bangor. I know those two facts. Exactly what school it is, I don't know. But it is in our listening area. And I just can't even believe it. Can't even believe that it has gone this far. And shows no signs of stopping. Stick around, more coming up. Pep Rally for Freedom is on. I'm John James.
WSKW, Central Maine's Heritage Station.
We're here on Colby campus today to interview student voters about the upcoming election. Hello, young man. What's your name?
Jimmy.
Where are you from, Jimmy?
California.
And where will you be voting this year?
Waterville.
And who will you be voting for State House?
Well, they handed me a sample ballot with the candidates' names circled I'm supposed to vote for. I think it was Madigan.
I see. High property tax rates are a big issue in Waterville. Waterville homeowners pay a property tax rate 28 times greater than Colby College, Waterville's wealthiest institution. Do you think that's fair?
No, that doesn't sound fair at all.
Did you know the person that they told you to vote for opposed efforts to have Colby College contribute more in property taxes to the city?
No, but I wish I did before I voted.
Don't be like Jimmy. For years, local Democratic candidates have run a vote mining scheme on Colby campus to get elected. They're counting on your uneducated vote. This year, before selecting your local candidates, please take the time to do your homework. Waterville residents deserve your educated vote. I'm Mark Andre, unenrolled for State House, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Mark Andre for State House.
Take it to Moody's. Take it to Moody's. Collision Center.
If your car is a wreck and you don't know where to go,
take it to Moody's.
You wanna get on with your life, get on with the show.
Take it to Moody's.
Good people you can trust, and it won't be a fuss.
Take it to Moody's. Collision Centers.
MOODY. Your kid was talking on the cell phone, drove right through your own home, sitting in the parking lot. Maybe you get hit a lot, driving through the green light. Suddenly your side swipe, put it in reverse, but it turned out that it was first.
Take it to Moody's. Take it to Moody's. Collision Centers.
Winter is coming to Maine, and with it, the increased costs of heating our homes. So beware the Gideon gas gouge. Millionaire Sarah Gideon's proposed tax hike would raise home heating costs more than $100 a fill-up. That adds up over an entire winter. And Gideon's gas gouge tax hike would raise the cost of gasoline for our vehicles an additional 40 cents a gallon. Every time we fill up, 40 cents more a gallon adds up. Millionaire Sarah Gideon's gas gouge hits Mainers right where we live, especially now as Maine families dig out from a struggling economy and the pandemic. We can't afford the Gideon gas gouge. And with winter coming, it's really the wrong time for gas gouging Sarah Gideon. Say no to Sarah Gideon. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
I want to tell you about the incredible items you'll find at Townline Antiques, but there's no match for seeing them in person and reliving those wonderful memories for yourself. Shop through their great selection of furniture, artwork, classic electronics, sports memorabilia, jewelry, books, glassware, home decor, and so much more. Take home a little something to decorate a room with style. Add to your collection or share wonderful memories of your past with family and friends. Townline Antiques, open Tuesday through Sunday from 10 to 5, Route 201, right on the Winslow-Vassalboro Town Line.
Your pep rally for freedom is back. Powered by the Gun Shop in Augusta on Coney Circle. Now, here's John James.
Welcome back. Welcome back. 621-9759. 207-621-9759. The text line is 207-441-6969. Listen live, audio 24/7, legacy1160.com, powered by the Harry J. Smith Company, Sanger Avenue in Waterville. And, of course, our video streams at legacy1160.com and on Facebook are powered by Moody's Collision Centers, who you hear a lot and sing along to the amazing. People look forward to the jingle. It's like sing-along time, isn't it? And I held my phone up to the camera during the Moody's commercial because every time the Moody's commercial is on, Google is activated on my phone. And the way to activate it, of course, is to say, "Hey, Google." And it does one of those. And I don't know if maybe Sean has hidden "Hey, Google" in there someplace. So maybe it says, "Hey, Google, search for Moody's Collision Centers." That would be so smart. Holy cow. Check it out. Could you hide that? Let's try it. "Hey, Google, search for Moody's Collision Centers." Oh, see, now it won't even open. Now when I tell it to open, it doesn't open. "Hey, Google, search for Moody's Collision Center."
Moody's Collision and Auto Body Repair Center. Here you go.
How about that? Huh, amazing. Subliminal advertising at its best right there, I think. Maybe not. 940 on Legacy 1160 WSKW. Well, speaking of Google, did you know that Google Trends, which tracks people around the world and what they search for on the internet, it appears to be showing, I don't know how telling this is, it appears to be showing a significant increase in the number of searches on how to vote Republican. Much more than how to vote Democrat. And it's been going on for pretty much an entire year. According to Google Trends, since early October 2019, Americans on average have been about 2/3 more likely to search on how to vote Republican than how to vote Democrat. I don't know what this means. Now, the most recent data, according to an article in The Blaze, I think, this came out just last week. The search favored Republicans by about 18%. Woo. Now, if these are all likely voters, and there's truly an 18% margin over Democrats, and Google has any say in what the mindset is out there, this could be huge. Now, here are some of the states and the percentages of those searching how to vote Republican versus those who are voting Democrat. In Idaho, it's 100 to 0%. This is Republican versus Democrat, 100% to 0%. New Mexico, 100% to 0%. Same in Mississippi, 100% to 0%. In Alabama, Republican 72%, Democrat 28%. Minnesota, Republicans 70%, Democrat 30%. Louisiana, Republicans 69%, Democrats 31%. Kentucky, Republican 65%, Democrat 35%. Washington State, 62% Republican to 38% Democrat in this Democratic bastion. Kansas, Republican 60%, Democrats 40%. And finally, to round out a top 10 list, it's Nebraska, Republicans 60% more searches for how to vote Republican, and Democrats 40%. So that may be an indicator. And again, this has been tracking for over a year. This is the trend. But I am stunned by Idaho, New Mexico, and Mississippi. The searches have been 100% how to vote Republican. Now, granted, these aren't swing states, but still important. You bet. Look at a place like Washington State with a large margin looking for how to vote Republican over Democrat. That may be telling. Hold on. got to close the door. All right. Because we know voices carry. All right, checking the text line here. By the way, it's 441-6969 if you want to get in on the action. Granddaughter reports. Bangor High School. Teachers teach for only part-time, and then they have to sit and study until the next class. Interesting. Interesting. I wonder if this is, it's been quite a few years since I've been in school. Aren't teachers supposed to pretty much, except for, occasionally, you have quiet time where the kids can study and read. But every day, a teacher not teaching for the entire 40, 45 minutes, whatever the class length is? Huh. Very interesting. Okay, what was an interesting movie? I didn't get the name of the movie, Mikkel. Anyway, I'm not sure what movie you're talking about. You did send me a YouTube video. I did want to. I haven't watched it yet, honestly, but I did want to share it with people if I can find it. It's about communism, and it's very frightening from what I hear. It's on YouTube too, by the way. It's nothing you have to wait for the theaters to open to go to. I don't even know what theaters are open. I don't go to the movies. Something about communism, but I can't find it right now. If you're listening now, Mikkel, maybe you can text that to me again. I would like to watch that one of these evenings. It's 9:45 here on Legacy 1160 WSKW. And Nancy Pelosi says no to COVID-19 testing. She has been for quite some time for the House and Senate. She has really put it off. Now we have a couple of senators who have tested positive for COVID-19, a couple of Republican senators. And House Minority Whip Steve Scalise of Louisiana is still claiming that House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has thwarted efforts to conduct widespread coronavirus testing on Capitol Hill. And of course, now they are using the president's and the two senators' positive tests. They're using that to delay the Supreme Court nominee, Amy Coney Barrett. This cannot get any more strange and different than anything we've ever seen before than it is. Have we ever experienced anything like this last 4 years? Due in large part, if not completely, due to the leftist congressional members and, you got it, the news, the mainstream media. They are single-handedly, as a single party, they are destroying our freedom. They're working to destroy it right now as we're talking about this on the radio. Wait a minute, maybe I get a text back here. I can. First Monday in October is the name of the movie. SCOTUS drama. Sir, okay, I have seen this. The drama surrounding Clarence Thomas. Okay, I haven't seen, and the YouTube video I'm telling you about is The Spectre of Communism. That's on YouTube. Spectre of Communism. I haven't watched it yet, but I intend to. He says it's really good and it's really kind of scary, facing what we are right now in this country. 9:48 on Legacy 1160. So anyway, back to Steve Scalise, what he's saying about Nancy Pelosi not wanting Congress to be tested on a widespread basis, which they should be. The allegations come as Senate Democrats are attempting to use COVID-19 infections to delay Amy Coney Barrett's Senate confirmation. Now, they could have most all of it done on Zoom at a distance, whatever platform they want to use, except the vote. Everything else could be done at a distance. Representative Rodney Davis, who is a Republican from Illinois, he is the ranking member of the House Committee on House Administration. He has been urging Nancy Pelosi to implement a comprehensive health monitoring system and testing program. And Pelosi has refused it. Here's what Steve Scalise had to say on Fox News about this yesterday. He was on yesterday, I think, with Maria Bartiromo, maybe.
Congressman Davis is exactly correct. I mean, these protocols have been out there, and the testing capabilities have been out there for a long time. They were offered to the speaker, and she turned it down. And I think it's something that should have been in Congress for a few weeks now. But, you know, ultimately, that's what the speaker decided to do.
And the speaker decided to do exactly nothing. Nothing. And now they want to delay the vote on Amy Coney Barrett. This is everything. Everything with the Democrats is political. If they say no to something or yes to something or they do something, everything has a political motivation. And what's happening now with Amy Coney Barrett is the very thing that they have feared since Donald Trump got elected. The thing they have feared most is that there would be multiple people put on the Supreme Court, giving it a rightward lean. You can bet if this was a leftward lean, they would demand we hold the hearings, we hold the vote before the election. You can guarantee it. If they had the Senate and Barack Obama was still the president, you can bet Merrick Garland would have sailed through had it been a Democratic Senate last time. I mean, just saying, it would have sailed through, but was not the case because there was no majority Democrats in the Senate, and that's why Merrick Garland didn't get confirmed. In fact, there weren't even hearings held on Merrick Garland. It is 9:51 right now. I'm John James. We've got more coming up. Got to take a real quick break here. Back in less than 2 minutes.
Legacy 1160, WSKW.
And our next item up for bid is...
Does it ever feel like Washington, D.C. is turned into one big auction?
We'll be starting the bidding at $400,000.
Senators and congressmen working more for the special interests than the people who sent them there.
At $500,000 now.
Take Susan Collins. She's taken over $400,000 from pharmaceutical companies and voted to delay generic medication coming to the market, costing Mainers millions.
Thank you for the bid. $1 million. Can I get $1 million?
She's taken $1.2 million from insurance companies and voted 7 times to allow them to discriminate against people with pre-existing conditions.
Can I get $2 million? $2 million.
In total, Susan Collins has taken $6 million from corporate PACs, more than anyone in Maine's history. No wonder she voted to give corporations and the wealthy a $2 trillion tax break. Susan Collins.
Sold.
She's not for you anymore.
I'm Sarah Gideon, running for U.S. Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Sarah Gideon for Maine.
Take it to Moody's. Take it to Moody's Collision Center.
If your car is a wreck and you don't know where to go,
take it to Moody's.
You wanna get on with your life, get on with the show.
Take it to Moody's.
Good people you can trust, and it won't be a fuss.
Take it to Moody's Collision Centers.
MOODY. Your kid was talking on the cell phone, drove right through your own home, sitting in the parking lot. Maybe you get hit a lot, driving through the green light. Suddenly your side swipe, put it in reverse, but it turned out that it was first.
Take it to Moody's. Take it to Moody's Collision Centers.
Good morning. 9:53. I'm John James, your friendly host. Freedom's Pep Rally, right here. 621-975-9207-4416-969. Yes, I did know, and I I was going to mention it. Didn't even think of it. We got so embroiled in the main schools shutting down students' First Amendment rights or taking advantage of their perceived First Amendment rights, as the Central Maine school teacher did, thinking she could try to encourage the kids to think Joe Biden should be president, and here's why. And went through apparently a laundry list of reasons why Joe Biden is better than Donald Trump. All of it, of course, opinion, but stated when a school teacher speaks that way to students, 11-year-old students, 11 and 12-year-old students in the 6th grade, which is now middle school, used to be grammar school when I was a kid, believe it or not. Well, you know, because it was when you were a kid too. So you're talking to 11 and 12-year-old kids. You're showing them a little bit of the debate, which is okay. It's okay. I mean, getting kids engaged, letting them see the political process for all its good, its evils, and misgivings, and whatever else. I mean, that's a lesson. That is a lesson. But then when you ask the kids, how many of you are voting for Trump, and they all raise their hands, and you as a teacher feel compelled to say, well, Biden would be a better choice, and here's why, you have gone beyond what should be allowed by any school district. You have gone beyond what should be allowed for a teacher to do. And forget about the teacher in Massabesic who cut the kid out of a math class that her parents paid for with their taxes because she, in her bedroom, had a Donald Trump flag waving or hanging on the wall. You notice on the 10 states that I listed that were searching how to vote Republican a lot more than how to search Democrat. You notice there was not one New England state on there. Not one. There are 6 New England states. Now, when you name states, you know, odds are there would be at least one New England state. Does that tell you a little bit about how liberal New England is? You know, it starts out in southern New England, works its way up. It's now eking its way into Maine, coastal Maine, southern Maine. You can't get much more liberal. Southern Maine literally is California liberal. It's little Massachusetts. And not that I don't love people from Massachusetts. It's one of our neighboring states, and I love Massachusetts. But the mindset I'm not so fond of. 9:56 on Legacy 1160 WSKW. So CNN had a little bit of a meltdown over the weekend. Host Ana Cabrera and her colleagues are just nonstop talking about Donald Trump's health, and they showing utter dismay that he's not getting worse. It looks like he's going to survive. Darn the luck. I mean, how many liberals have you seen wishing for his death? Wow. Even Rachel Maddow. I posted this on Friday. It was after the show. See if I can find it real quick here. I was actually surprised by Rachel Maddow. Okay, Zara Rahim, who former Obama White House staffer and Hillary Clinton's former national spokeswoman. This would be like a Kayleigh McEnany or something, the president's spokesperson. So this woman, this shameless woman, Zara Rahim, said, "It's been against my moral identity to tweet this for the past 4 years, but I hope he dies." Okay. Very nice. Rachel Maddow I don't know if this is genuine or not, but I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. She said, God bless the president, the first lady. If you pray, please pray for their speedy and complete recovery and for everyone infected everywhere. This virus is horrific and merciless. No one would wish its wrath on anyone. We must get it spread under control enough. So there's a little politics in there, clearly. But she took the high road. But Zara Rahim, how about that? I hope he dies. Put cute little star emojis on each side of the word dies. Shameful. That is just shameful. Back with more after the news. Stick around, please. I'm John James. This is Freedom's Pep Rally.
From the Home Auto Group Studios, Farmington Ford and Franklin Chrysler in Farmington. This is WSKW, Skowhegan, Augusta, Waterville, Legacy 1160.
ABC News, I'm Alex Perche. Concerned this morning after President Trump briefly left Walter Reed to take a spin around the medical center in an SUV to wave at supporters outside Sunday evening. ABC senior White House correspondent Cecilia Vega reports administration officials say the movement was cleared by the president's medical team.
Walter Reed attending physician Dr. James Phillips saying the irresponsibility is astounding, adding every person in that car now has to quarantine for 14 days. They might get sick. They may die for political theater.
Even as the White House says the president could be discharged as soon as today, there are conflicting reports leaving many nervous about his condition. ABC's Kenneth Moten.
White House doctors denied the president needed oxygen. But from Trump's chief of staff, Mark Meadows, a much more serious statement on the president's condition.
He had a fever and his blood oxygen level had dropped rapidly.
Trump's physician, Dr. Sean Conley, finally revealed the president required supplemental oxygen twice.
This is ABC News. New warnings about the coronavirus in Great Britain.
Interviewed by the BBC, Prime Minister Boris Johnson leveled with the British public.
You know, I've got to tell you, in all candor, it's going to continue to be bumpy through to Christmas. It may even be bumpy beyond. But this is the only way to do it.
The stark assessment comes as COVID cases rocket here, while the country's test and track system continues to operate ineffectively. Tom Rivers, ABC News, London.
And bankers are now fighting back against scammers.
This is Jim Ryan. The American Bankers Association is rolling out public service announcements that ask such things as,
do you think I should get back with my ex?
Banks never ask for relationship advice.
They pose really silly, funny questions,
says ABA President Rob Nichols.
And then, of course, we make clear that banks will not ask for your account information, your PIN number, and your password.
Americans lost $2 billion to phishing scams and other fraud last year. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Alex Perche, ABC News.
I saved big money with the Progressive Home and Auto Bundle, so I finally bought that new set of golf clubs. Watch out, Fairway. Here I come.
This is not a real testimonial. Sure, customers can save big with Progressive, but your other expenses won't just disappear. Are those clubs going to help you when the hot water heater dies? Also, it sounds like your money is better spent on golf lessons.
Time to go shoot the course record.
Get in charge. We will be a suburb of Venezuela, and I hope everybody out there knows that we, the people, have an absolute moral obligation to vote God, family, country, freedom, Constitution. And if you don't vote those basic principles, the communists and the Marxists would like to thank you.
The John James Show is on Legacy 1160 WSKW.
It's 10:03. Homicide in a Winthrop mobile home over the weekend. Very sad. Happened on Squire Court off Route 133. And not many more details right now as police investigate. And other murders being there was where was it? There was something in Winslow that's being investigated, right? There's somebody in Winslow. They don't know if there was foul play or not, from what I've heard. I heard Mike talking about it this morning. Anyway, we'll look into that. We'll try to get you some updates on that as well. Or maybe somebody get it confused with the Winthrop homicide. I'm not really sure. We've got 10:04 right now on Legacy 1160 WSKW. So let's get back. We started talking about the CNN meltdown. Ana Cabrera and her colleagues, sort of hoping the worst for the president. By the way, before I go into this deeper, I've gotten some, I got a text, something similar on WABI, I guess. Maxwell says, I've seen a ton of people on News Center Maine and WABI's Facebook pages wishing death on the president and first lady. Makes me wonder about people. There are people all over the board on this. We have no person in their right mind with common sense would wish for death of anybody. And how dare they go public and wish for the president's death? If that's the way you feel, you can't help your feelings. But shut up. Just shut up. You make yourself look as ignorant as you clearly are when you go public with your idiotic, stupid, unhelpful, and cruel statements. Idiots, all. I did not like President Barack Obama. I would never wish him or his family any ill will. And if I did, which I didn't, think of it, I would never go public with it. Why don't you just say, well, I hope he's assassinated? Why don't you just say that? Because clearly that's what you think. Anybody who would wish the president's death clearly has that mindset about them. This would just be a more natural way to do it, right? Am I right about that? Yes, I am. If something happened to the president, people would publicly celebrate. I guarantee, and there would be a lot more who would publicly mourn. I guarantee you that. Did you see all the people outside the Walter Reed Medical Center with pro-Trump signs? They were getting yelled at and flipped off. Big deal. Big deal. The haters gonna hate. I go by people I disagree with all the time. And, the make love, not war. Ronald Reagan famously said something one time. They say make love, not war. I've looked at them. I've seen these people. They don't look like they're capable of doing either. I love that. And he's right. He was right about that. But I don't agree with that. Nobody wants war, but they want to denuclearize us. They want to make the military smaller because they want kumbaya. They want peace for all. But that's not how people think. People don't think like you've got idiots. You've got third world countries, third world leaders. You've got tyrants keeping down their people who want nothing more. China would love nothing more than to take over the world, to annihilate the United States of America. Russia probably wants the same. Do you think they're going to come after us, though? Why? Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they attack? Why wouldn't Russia come after us like they do so many other countries? Why wouldn't they attack us? Well, because we're powerful. They know if they make a call, they're going to get an answer, and they aren't going to like it. So, while everybody wants peace, making the military smaller or getting rid of some want to get rid of the military. We don't need a military complex. You've got people one of the candidates for the U.S. Senate. I forget her name. She's a very nice woman. She was on with Sarah Gideon and Max Lynn and Susan Collins, and I forget her name. But she wants to do away with Bath Iron Works and have them make solar panels. That's not how America is going to stay strong. That is not how we're going to protect our homeland. No, we aren't going to be a part of a world government. We are the United States of America. We are great, we are powerful, and we aren't going to be used like a pawn. Sorry to burst the bubble of the peaceniks out there. But while I don't agree with these people, and I think they look rather foolish, while I don't agree with all the white BLM protesters marching on the corners in Belfast or wherever I see them, I think that's kind of dumb. I'd like to give them a piece of my mind. I don't honk at them. I don't flip them off. I don't yell at them. But people feel the need to yell, scream, flip people off, and even get violent with them. Even get violent with them. Most always from the left. We're going to get to this CNN piece, I guarantee it, right now. So Ana Cabrera assembled White House correspondents, part of the press corps, Caitlin Collins and Jeremy Diamond, and a senior political analyst, David Jurgen. And they were freaking out over a public appearance by Donald Trump. What was it, yesterday afternoon, yesterday evening, in an SUV? He went around waving at the people who supported him, showing people that he is okay and he's going to be okay. Because there have been a lot of rumors going around. And some of them are true about his oxygen level dropping to dangerous levels a couple of times. People are worried about him. And the fearmongers and the hopefuls are saying, well, you know, we're going to have to get ready for, could be. And they've gone so far as to get ready, say we could be in for a Nancy Pelosi presidency. Have you heard this? They've gone right through it. You know, if Donald Trump, if he can't serve anymore, then we got Michael Pence, and Michael Pence then is going to be the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi. We could be getting ready for a President Pelosi. Good grief. So this is their wishful thinking. So on CNN, they were talking about Trump's public appearance outside the gates of Walter Reed Medical Center. He was waving. He was in a mask. Everybody in the limousine was in a mask. Nobody else in the motorcade was near the president. Here's CNN going just ballistic in a sedated sort of way. Listen to what they had to say.
Good point, Jeremy. And it is very fitting because this president, we know how much he loves to put on a show, loves to create surprises, to make good TV. Let me bring back in David Gergen as we sort of digest what we just witnessed, this unexpected moment in which the president drove by in an SUV to say hello to his supporters, to give him a good wave. Jeremy did make a good point there, David Gergen, that one, we know the president is not 100% clearly as he's continuing to battle the coronavirus and has been very ill along the course of his coronavirus journey. It was good to hear him in that video sounding a little bit stronger and looking good in this image as well. However, he's putting those Secret Service drivers and members who are protecting him in this moment at risk.
Yes, it's classic Donald Trump, isn't it? You know, he does want to be the star of any show, or he wants to be at the center of attention. He does have admirers out there, obviously, people who come gathered, and he is, I'm sure, cheering them on and sending a message to the rest of his base. Look, I'm in this fight. I mean, that's a message not only about today and tomorrow and the next 2 or 3 days. He's the message of someone who's running for president, and he wants to be back in the action as soon as he can. I think, you know, I think it's up to the doctors to tell us, is this reckless or not? Is this something you all would have approved of, or did he just do it on his own? It'd be helpful to know more, but I doubt we'll hear anything more until tomorrow.
Well, maybe we'll find out more today. Maybe the president's going to be released today. That was the word on the street. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Was it reckless? David Gergen says. We'll have to find out. The doctors think it was reckless. I don't know. Let's see what they say. Let's wait and see what they say. Speaking of Trump bashing, which is what mainstream media did all weekend, that carried over into comedy, as it always does. Saturday Night Live is back after the summer off. They are back, and they made sure their comedy was a big anti-Trump commercial for Joe Biden. with Chris Rock. It's just a couple examples. Chris Rock and Jim Carrey made fun of the president's positive diagnosis for COVID-19. Now, I think humor based on current events can be very, very funny. Can be very, very funny, and the person who is the target should be able to laugh at the comedy. I think current event comedy is the best comedy there is. I don't know what maybe this was funny to Trump supporters. I didn't think it was funny. Here's Chris Rock in the opening monologue.
Before we even get started, let's hey, the elephant in the room. President Trump's in the hospital from COVID, and I just want to say my heart goes out to COVID.
All right. Maybe if it was a little different political tone from the leftist media and NBC, that would be more funny. But with all of the leftists wishing the president dead right now, I think that might have been the right joke for a different time. But for this time, given the tone of what's going on in politics, given the fact that we don't know, or we certainly didn't Saturday night, what was going to happen the first few days they said were key as to how the president was going to respond to the drugs he was given, if he was going to get worse, if he was going to fall more ill. That might have been the right joke for a different time. I'm not saying it was completely humorless. I'm saying it just didn't seem to fit. It didn't seem to fit in what's going on right now. And then there was Jim Carrey and their little skit. I think this was the cold open. Jim Carrey, by the way, hates Donald Trump. And so does Alec Baldwin. They hate Donald Trump. So you've got these two known Trump haters. They're playing the president and vice president. Jim Carrey played Biden in the cold open, and in it, he is at the debate, and Jim Carrey, as Joe Biden, is holding a remote control. And as soon as Alec Baldwin, President Trump, starts to speak, mid-sentence, not even mid-sentence, he stops, he freezes, after Baldwin pauses Donald Trump. And then he holds up a remote control, like a TV remote, showing that he paused the president, and the crowd goes nuts. Now, that's to set it up for you. Carrey also gives a nod to Chris Wallace character. I don't know who played Chris Wallace. I have no idea who any of the cast members on SNL are now, with the exception of those two. But he gave a nod to the Chris Wallace character, asking if he can speak to America. So that sets it up for you. This starts out with a real brief sound of Alec Baldwin, Donald Trump speaking, before he is abruptly paused.
I am the press.
Right there. And he's holding up the remote control, Joe Biden is.
Sorry, but I think we all needed a break. Isn't that satisfying? Just not to hear his voice for a single goddamn second.
Carrey had to love doing this.
Let's wallow in it. Let's bask in the Trumplessness. Now, Chris, could I speak directly to the American people?
Is it going to be weird?
Totally. Totally weird. America, look at me. Look directly into my eyeballs. You can trust me because I believe in science and karma. Now just imagine if science and karma could somehow team up to send us all a message about how dangerous this virus can be. I'm not saying I want it to happen. Just imagine if it did. So this November, please get on the Biden train, which is literally a commuter train to Delaware. And we can all make America not actively on fire again. Okay. Now I'll unpause him. Antifa! Nope, can't do it. Gonna leave him on pause.
All right, gonna leave him on pause. And the crowd went wild. By the way, what is the crowd? I only saw a couple of bits. I didn't watch the show. They had a performer on who did some Black Lives Matter open. I didn't even know who the performer was, to be honest with you. How unhip have I become? Not watching Saturday Night Live. I have no idea what they had for a crowd there. Sounded like a pretty sizable one, but I'm sure they were all wearing masks and shields and body armor because they've got to do what looks good to Joe Biden supporters. Joe Biden wears a mask everywhere he goes, except the debate. He didn't wear one at the debate, and he apparently still, as far as we know, didn't get the virus. I'm sure he's being checked daily. He's the first person I thought of when President Trump tested positive for COVID-19. Joe Biden is literally the first person I thought of who could have the virus, but apparently so far, no. Hopefully he doesn't get it. I really hope he doesn't get it. Joe Biden does say he will be at the debate later on this month, though, on the 15th. And remember, this Wednesday night should be interesting. We've got Mike Pence and Kamala Harris. And while usually it's a big yawn watching a vice presidential debate, except for the one with Dan Quayle and Lloyd Benson, which you heard a little snippet of this morning when we played the Today in History piece, where Lloyd Benson said, "I knew Jack Kennedy, you are no Jack Kennedy." And the crowd went wild for that. But that clearly it didn't ruin, well, actually it did ruin Dan Quayle, didn't it? It did sort of ruin everybody's, the way people looked at Dan Quayle from that moment forward. 10:22 right now, back with more. How many Democrats are happy about Donald Trump's COVID-19 diagnosis? A whole bunch of them. We'll tell you how many coming right up.
AM 1160, WSKW.
Sales and service by a family who cares. Whittemore and Sons, Whittemore and Sons.
There are some things you can simply never depend on, like getting your morning coffee just the way you like it every day. I mean, you order it the same way. How is it different today? But know that you can always count on Whittemore & Sons in our line of Coyote tractors. Coyote tractors are machines made to work, whether it's mowing, tilling, digging, lifting, or hauling. Check out the full line of tough and versatile Coyote tractors, attachments, implements, and accessories at Whittemore & Sons, your Coyote tractor dealer, with dependable sales in service for over 50 years. Run ahead of the pack with a Coyote tractor from Whittemore & Sons on the Waterville Road in Skowhegan. Sales and service by a family who cares.
From work to fun, we'll help you get it done. Whittemore & Sons. Outdoor power equipment.
Last year, the healthcare industry spent $500 million trying to influence Washington politicians, hiring over 2,000 lobbyists to make sure their corporations continue to make more while you're forced to pay more for your coverage. So it's no surprise that in Washington, they're moving backwards on access to quality, affordable healthcare. I'm Sarah Gideon, and as Washington fails, in Maine, we did something about it. Cracking down on companies who jack up prices, expanding access to generic medication, making sure that people with pre-existing conditions are guaranteed affordable coverage, and ensuring healthcare companies can't overcharge when you seek necessary care. I haven't taken a dime from drug and insurance companies in this campaign because they don't own this Senate seat. You do. I'll always put Maine first. That's why I approve this message. Paid for by Sarah Gideon for Maine.
Take it to Moody's. Take it to Moody's. Collision Centers.
If your car is a wreck and you don't know where to go,
Take it to Moody's.
you wanna get on with your life, get on with the show.
Take it to Moody's.
Good people you can trust, and it won't be a fuss.
Take it to Moody's. Collision Centers.
M-O-O-D-Y. Your kid was talking on the cell phone, drove right through your own home, sitting in the parking lot. Maybe you get hit a lot, driving through the green light. Suddenly your side swipe, put it in reverse, but it turned out that it was first.
Take it to Moody's. Take it to Moody's. Collision Centers.
I want to tell you about all of the incredible items you can find at Townline Antiques, but there's no substitute for seeing them in person and reliving those wonderful memories for yourself. Now's the perfect time to shop through their great selection of furniture, artwork, classic electronics, sports memorabilia, jewelry, books, glassware, home decor, and so much more. Take home something to decorate a room with style, add to your collection, or share wonderful memories of your past with family and friends. Townline Antiques, open Tuesday through Sunday from 10 to 5, Route 201, right on the Winslow-Vassaboro Town Line.
Your pep rally for freedom is back, powered by the Gun Shop in Augusta on Coney Circle. Now, here's John James.
All right, we're back. We are back. Just got a message from Mike. Apparently, we were a little distorted on the stream. I brought it down a little bit, so if you're listening on the audio stream, that's why the volume changed a little bit. I'm assuming we're okay now. I'm sure Mike will let me know. Now that I'm talking, it might be a better, you might be able to tell a little bit better if it's sounding okay. The stream was running a little, as we call it, hot. It was a little hot. It's because I'm, no, stop. I know, I'm kidding. I'm anything but hot. Are you kidding me? 1027 on Legacy 1160 WSKW. And Democrats are happy, apparently, about Donald Trump's COVID-19 diagnosis. Many hope he dies. They've written it. They've said it. They've publicly said they wish for the president's demise. And not just nobodies, not just keyboard warriors, but some fairly big names have indicated they, kind of rooting for the president to get a little worse, so he'll take it seriously. No, so they can get rid of him. That's why he's taking it seriously. He's taking it very seriously. Dr. Fauci even said he was taking it seriously. I found audio of him saying he doesn't know how Donald Trump could have done any better. That's Dr. Fauci saying it. So it's all smoke and mirrors. Everything the Democrats say about it, all smoke and mirrors. There's been no shortage of leftist celebrities and pundits celebrating this diagnosis. The usual cast of Trump-hating people rejoiced in the president's positive test. And here are some of them. Kathy Griffin, Jimmy Kimmel, Bette Midler, Rob Reiner. But it's also for not just the rich, famous, and elite, but Democratic voters also cheering that Donald Trump had coronavirus. A new Morning Consult Politico poll of over 900 American registered voters found that 40% of Democrats, 40%, were somewhat or very happy when they found out the president tested positive. 31% of Democrats were somewhat or very excited to hear about Trump's diagnosis. 41% of Dems were indifferent to the news. Republicans were a little bit more empathetic, as you would expect. 55% of GOP voters were somewhat or very sad about the positive test. 51% of Republicans were somewhat or very worried for the president. Now, as far as the Supreme Court confirmation hearings for Judge Amy Coney Barrett are concerned, scheduled for to start next Monday, as a matter of fact, 57% of Republican voters say the hearings should not be delayed because of Trump's positive test. However, 2/3 of Democrats say they should be delayed. Now, as far as the positive test having an impact on voters' level of concern about the pandemic, not so much. Survey found that 53% of U.S. adults said they were very concerned about coronavirus on October 2nd, the same percentage as this poll from September 25th to the 27th. More than half, 53% of voters, say they are more inclined to wear a face mask and practice social distancing following Trump's positive coronavirus test. And I will wear a mask where I need to and know I should. It's the hip thing to do now. It's getting to the point where literally you almost feel out of place if you don't have a mask on. Now, I'm not saying that's the only reason you should wear one, but if that is what causes you to wear one and it helps somebody, well, good, I guess. Good. No, if it helps somebody, good. Not, I guess. There's no I guess about it. 10:31 right now on Legacy 1160 WSKW 207-441-6969. I don't know. I don't think we've got the phone working. I don't know. Shall we try? Hi, you're on with John. Hello. 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 No, I guess. Apparently it is working. Okay, we lost our caller. We didn't get to it in time. I understand. I don't often see the little flashing light. And if you texted me and said you were calling, I'm sorry. I should keep an eye on the Facebook post and on the okay. All right. No, nobody said anything on Facebook. Yeah, Jim Carrey is unfunny. You know who else is unfunny? Let's talk about unfunny for a minute. You know who has given up on the funny? Stephen Colbert has given up on funny. Now, Stephen Colbert set out to be funny, but he has ditched that. He has ditched that in favor of being an activist. Does anybody like Stephen Colbert? Now, his job is to be liked by as many people as possible. And you do that by being funny, and you talk about current events, but you make it funny to everybody so everybody can laugh. Well, he's not even trying to be funny to anybody, apparently. He's known as an improv actor and comic. He was on with New Jersey Senator Cory Booker last week. It was supposed to be a Q&A, I guess. Or maybe Booker was just there to nod in agreement as Colbert spouted off. Either way, I saw Cory Booker sitting there. I saw his head in the other side of the screen. He was at a different location, obviously. But he said nothing as Colbert went on and on about Biden and the evil Donald Trump. And it became quite apparent at that point in time. It has been for a while, but I mean, it became very apparent to me on that particular show that The Late Show with Stephen Colbert is making absolutely no attempt to be humorous anymore. Let's see, cut K, go back to 9:30. Here is Stephen Colbert.
But the pain I saw on his face was knowing what a president can be like and feeling this pain for what he sees our president being right now. A pain for America. Like, it must be heartbreaking for him to have the presidency and a relationship with the president not be a theory, to know what that person can be. And I don't mean just Barack Obama. I mean people that Joe Biden didn't support. But Donald Trump is an abomination. He is a stain on the office of the presidency and his behavior. And I saw that in Vice President Biden's face.
That was after the debate before the COVID positive test. What has happened to late night TV? These people, they're washed up. They're done. They are done. The nation knows their political lean is far left. And they're going to have no fans. Half the country is not going to ever watch them, ever. Again, I just go back to David Letterman, Conan O'Brien, Johnny Carson, Jay Leno. Truly funny people, especially Leno and Carson and Letterman back in the day. He would do political jokes, but they weren't to hurt anybody. They didn't hurt everybody could laugh at him. Actually, Colbert doesn't even do jokes anymore. So if he did, I know there would be just direct attacks on the president and vice president, and they wouldn't be meant for the whole country to laugh at. They'd be meant for their base to laugh at. But they don't even tell jokes anymore. Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, they're much the same way. Jimmy Fallon tries to do funny things and tries to be funny, and maybe he is from time to time. But who's watching him? Because he goes into these long monologues of hatred for President Trump. And, the right conservatives are just sick and tired of hearing it. We've got better things to do. We want to hear that stuff. We'll go watch the news. We'll turn on MSNBC if we want to hear a bunch of loudmouth talking heads go on and on about how bad the president is for America and what a stain he is on the presidency. Thank you very much, Stephen Colbert, for letting us know how you feel. 10:36. And let's see. COVID in the schools. This is interesting to me. There is no clear link. This is brand new. This is new study. It's been ongoing, but they think they can safely say there is no clear link between the reopening of schools and a country's coronavirus infection rates. This was a global analysis suggesting that kids are not the conduits for spreading the virus that researchers first thought. Again, we're learning more and more about the disease. Insights for Education, an independent foundation which is based in Switzerland, studied 191 countries over a 6-month period and reported that while opinion remains divided on when it is safe to reopen schools, their analysis shows no correlation between schools reopening and a rise in infection rates. It has been assumed that reopening schools will drive infections and that closing schools will reduce transmission. Insights for Education CEO Dr. Randa Groh-Zachary said in a statement, but said the reality is much more complex. The analysis back up what scientists increasingly believe, according to The Telegraph, that children initially thought to be major potential spreaders of coronavirus do not appear to be playing that role. However, at the same time, there is a growing body of work showing the detrimental effects of keeping kids out of school across the globe. IFE, the organization, warned that it is vital to address pandemic learning debt for like 711 million kids worldwide who remain out of the classroom, along with the children who have already returned to school but could face further potential closures, which we are seeing here in Maine. Grob-Zachary, Dr. Grob-Zachary added, it's fair to ask at this point, and this is a great question, are the risks of staying out of education exceeding those of going back in it? That's a very good question. And I would further on that question, I would say, are the risks of keeping things shut down or partially shut down worse than the risk of opening things back up more completely? That's a fair question, right? As we see more and more businesses going under. Even the ones that are open, restaurants can only be at half capacity. How do you think they're doing? Are they making ends meet? Are they losing? I would think they're losing money. I would think they've got to be losing money. They count on a full house, especially on weekend, nighttime when people go out to dinner. Now every other table is cordoned off at just about every restaurant. Some restaurants haven't even reopened their dining rooms. I know the fast food chains, McDonald's, Burger King, at least in this area, their dining rooms aren't even open. You can go in and order and leave, but you can't sit down. I mean, I know a bunch how their morning business has to be suffering. When I went to McDonald's in the morning, didn't matter where I was, there was always a pile, mostly elderly people in there talking, reading the paper, having coffee. All gone. That's all gone. And the drive-thrus don't look busier than ever. I mean, they're very busy, don't get me wrong. But the drive-thrus at these fast food restaurants don't really look any different than they did before the pandemic when they had a good number of people inside and a long line at the drive-thru. Now there's nobody inside and a long line at the drive-thru. 1041 on Legacy 1160 WSKW. And finally, MSNBC has acknowledged the wall at the border is actually going up. And I'm so sick and tired of people, oh, he promised a wall. There is no wall. There's hardly any wall up. Well, there is wall up. And it is replacing barriers. Well, there's already barriers there. They're just putting up a wall. It's no different. Oh, it's a lot different. I'll tell you how different it is. And I will show you MSNBC's epiphany when we come back. Stick around. I'm John James. No, we weren't supposed to have the monkeys there. We need to take a break. We didn't have that break set up, did we? You weren't ready for me. Okay, we're gonna take a break right here. Sorry, I didn't give you the heads up on that. 10:42. I'll be right back. I'm John James.
Supplement and drug coverage is so expensive. We're barely keeping up with our bills.
My husband and I were in the same situation. So I got some help from the Senior Planning Center. They were able to show us some high-quality Medicare Advantage plans that saved us a lot of money.
The Senior Planning Center? Tell me more.
They have helpful agents all over the state. Real Mainers helping Mainers. Give them a call at 778-6565. The Senior Planning Center. They were there to help when it mattered most. I'm glad I called them. You'll be glad too.
Winter is coming to Maine. And with it, the increased costs of heating our homes. So beware the Gideon gas gouge. Millionaire Sarah Gideon's proposed tax hike would raise home heating costs more than $100 a fill-up. That adds up over an entire winter. And Gideon's gas gouge tax hike would raise the cost of gasoline for our vehicles an additional 40 cents a gallon. Every time we fill up, 40 cents more a gallon adds up. Millionaire Sarah Gideon's gas gouge hits Mainers right where we live, especially now as Maine families dig out from a struggling economy and the pandemic. We can't afford the Gideon gas gouge. And with winter coming, it's really the wrong time for gas gouging Sarah Gideon. Say no to Sarah Gideon. Senate Leadership Fund, paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
If you're a service technician looking for a career opportunity with great pay and benefits, and you have the experience, qualifications, and the drive to succeed, then call Bob's Cash Fuel in Madison. They want to talk to you. Starting out with just one truck for deliveries in 1981, they've grown into a locally owned and operated full-service company, offering experience and a staff of trusted, loyal professionals. Bob's Cash Fuel offers heating oil, kerosene, diesel, gasoline, propane, and 24-hour emergency service for heating, cooling, and delivery. And their new app allows you to order fuel from your phone, check account information, delivery status, make a payment, and more. Just download the app from the App Store. They can also prepare you for the hot weather with a Mitsubishi cooling and heating system featuring EcoComfort technology that lets you control each room individually, and it can be installed in less than a day with no ductwork. Get your Mitsubishi heating and cooling system professionally installed from Bob's Cash Fuel. To heat or cool and propane too, call Bob's Cash Fuel 696-3040 or visit online at bobscashfuel.com. Bob's Cash Fuel is an equal opportunity employer.
Take it to Moody's. Take it to Moody's Collision Center.
If your car is a wreck and you don't know where to go,
Take it to Moody's.
You wanna get on with your life, get on with the show.
Take it to Moody's.
Good people you can trust, and it won't be a fuss.
Take it to Moody's Collision Centers.
M-O-O-D-Y. Your kid was talking on the cell phone, drove right through your own home, sitting in the parking lot. Maybe you get hit a lot, driving through the green light. Suddenly your side swipe, put it in reverse, but it turned out that it was first.
Take it to Moody's. Take it to Moody's Collision Centers.
I'm CBS 13 meteorologist Lexi O'Connor. Cloudy with areas of fog this morning, then developing sun that will be brightest and warmest away from the coast. Low 70s at the coast, mid 70s to near 80 degrees further inland. Rain moves in tonight into tomorrow. It will also be windy, clearing during the afternoon. Highs in the low 70s, mostly sunny, less humid for Thursday.
Welcome back. Leg is the WSKW. Hot leg is the. How about that? I'm not as dumb as I look. Okay, I am. All right. That was pretty clever, though, wasn't it? I'm John James. It's 1046. 207-621-9759 voice. 207-441-6969 text. Live streaming. You know what? I don't even think I started the video stream on Legacy 1160, WSK Legacy1160.com this morning. My. Oh, my word, how I've fallen down on the job here today. There it is. It's available to me. I've just got to put it on. So if you want to go to the Legacy 1160 and see the stunningly handsome host of the show, you'll have to tune in tomorrow morning at 6 for Mike Violet. But if you want to see me, you can go over to legacy1160.com here in just a minute. Oh, what I was going to mention earlier, and Mikkel reminded me of it, deer season for archers is open Saturday. If you're a bow hunter, and now you can use a crossbow in Maine. That started Saturday here in the great state of Maine, and I'm sure we'll be seeing some pictures of deer. By the way, congratulations to Jeff Zimba. He is our go-to gun guy. He was on with Ted Nugent and me a few weeks ago. He got a big bull this past weekend. He got a big bull moose, and guess what he shot it with? Are you ready? AR-15. Yeah, no, those guns aren't used for hunting. Really? All right, Jeff's AR-15 brought down a moose. Now, any questions? So, they do want to take away our guns. The Democrats in Congress, including Kamala Harris, including Joe Biden and Beto O'Rourke and Bernie Sanders. I realize Kamala and Bernie are the only two ones in Congress right now of those I mentioned. But they want to take away our guns. They want to take away our hunting rifles. The AR-15 is a hunting rifle. Hello? Oh, but it looks evil. It's an assault weapon. No, it is not. It is not an assault weapon. It's the furthest thing. It's as far from an assault weapon as a shotgun that Joe Biden says everybody should use a shotgun. They want to do away with AR-15s, which can be used for hunting and was successfully by Jeff Zimba. They will start with the AR-15, which, as far as murders are concerned, they're used in under 2% of the killings. Most guns used in killing people are illegal handguns. So if you think they're going to stop when they take away the AR-15, the so-called but not assault rifle, you think they're going to stop there? No, they are not. And nobody can explain that better than one of the guys I like to use as part of our Black Voices Matter series. You've heard him on this show before. You may be very familiar with him if you follow the NRA for any amount of time. His name is Colion Noir. He's an attorney, former NRA spokesman. He has a podcast, a videocast called it's the Noir. I think it's Noir. I will get the name of it so you can follow him. But he has done a great job at showing the lack of knowledge many Democrats, not all, many Democrats have about guns. And he also will show you why so many Democrats who say they're for the Second Amendment love to call for gun control. Today, he answers some of the questions as he brings in parts of an interview done between Charlemagne the God. You remember him? He's the host of a program called The Breakfast Club. Charlemagne the God interviewed Joe Biden. Joe Biden told him, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. One of the most racist things anybody said during the whole campaign was said by none other than Joe Biden to Charlemagne the God. So this is an interview he uses between Charlemagne the God and Louisiana Democratic Representative Cedric Maxwell, who talks about guns, but clearly, as you will see, knows not a damn thing about them, although he's for the Second Amendment. Now, in this piece, you will hear Cedric Maxwell reference a gun he wants to buy called a Judge. Now, a Judge, I just want to give you some perspective here. A Judge is a revolver. It's made by Taurus, which is a gun manufacturer, a very good gun manufacturer. So he wants to get a Taurus Judge because it shoots 45 long Colt or 45 Colt ammunition, 45 caliber bullets, a very good size round. It also shoots 410 shotgun shells. This revolver does, or as he calls them, 401 shells. Okay, that just to paint a picture for you about how little this man, who is pro-Second Amendment, how little this man actually knows about guns. So here is Colion Noir, and you'll also get a couple of cameos in here from one of the people you'll hear from is Joe Biden, and of course the incomparable gun non-expert Michael Bloomberg. You'll hear too. The first voice you're going to hear is Colion Noir, and this is very telling. Listen.
U.S. Representative Cedric Richmond of Louisiana was recently on The Breakfast Club where he was asked, why do people think Democrats are anti-2A? And here's what he had to say.
How many guns do you own right now, Cedric? Especially after hearing Donald Trump tell, the Proud Boys to be on standby. You a Louisiana man. How many guns do you own?
I have one gun, and I'm looking at purchasing another. And the unfortunate part is I saw a movie the other day, and I just decided that, with the chaos going on, the firearm that person had that I want. So,
what kind of firearm was this? Was it a Desert Eagle or 40 caliber? What was it?
Shut up, Envy. I have nothing against Envy. He just sounded like a goofball. Man, that's some good taste in cars, though.
No, there's two that I want. One is the Judge. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's a handgun There's a revolver that can shoot either a 45 bullet, or it could shoot, I think, a 401 shotgun shell. And that way, if you're home, I just go back to that scene in Boys in the Hood where Lawrence Fishburne shoots straight through the front door. If you're coming in my house, I'm going to assume that you are a foe, and I don't want to necessarily have to be the, aim the best. So that revolver with shotgun shells in it, I think will
spread.
I'm doing my best not to judge him for wanting to judge, but I have a sneaking suspicion that Cedric is a FUD. For those that don't know, a FUD is a gun owner who only likes old hunting rifles, shotguns, and revolvers, and thinks no one should own an AR-15. And they usually say stuff like this.
You don't need an AR-15. It's harder to aim, it's harder to use, and in fact, you don't need 30 rounds to protect yourself. Buy a shotgun.
And this.
Lot is, okay, let's pick it. Let's say 3. If you haven't hit the deer with 3 shots, you're a pretty lousy shot. That deer deserves to get away.
They're not always anti-gun technically, but they are anti-2A. And why are we talking about shooting people through a door? Shooting an unknown target through a door is the complete opposite of responsible gun ownership. One of the 4 rules of gun safety literally says, identify your target and what is behind it. And I'm sorry, I said I wasn't going to judge, but I can't take anyone seriously who wants a judge as a home defense gun, especially someone who thinks that by having a judge, you don't have to aim as good. This is not a movie. This is real life. And you're a real life congressman who makes laws that affect real people's lives. Yet you've managed to demonstrate in under 2 seconds that you not only don't know much about guns, you don't know squat about gun safety.
Why do people think Democrats are anti-Second Amendment?
I don't know. Look, the best hunter and shooter in Congress is a guy named Benny Thompson, a black guy from Mississippi. And Benny might have 20-something guns, and they range the gamut, but he is the best shooter. And so I don't know why people assume that we're not for the Second Amendment.
First of all, just because you have guns doesn't mean you're incapable of being anti-Second Amendment. It could very well mean you're not anti-Second Amendment for yourself, but anti-Second Amendment for everyone else. The halls of Congress are littered with hypocrites, so you having a gun means nothing. Your policies and positions on the issue are what make you anti-Second Amendment or not. Sure, there are some Democrats who are pro-2A. I've interviewed one of them on my show, but can we not sit up here and act like 99% of the politicians pushing for the most extreme forms of gun control are Democrats? That's why people think Democrats are anti-2A, because you are the ones trying to shove gun control down our throats every chance you get. Name one anti-gun group that supports a Republican. That should tell you everything you need to know. So don't come on here and act dumb like you don't know why people think Democrats are anti-2A. It's because y'all say the most anti-2A
everything has limits. You can't have a bazooka. I mean, it'd be probably cool to own a bazooka, but you can't.
Actually, if you have the money and undergo the licensing process to own one, you can own a bazooka.
And so you can't have an M16. So
wrong again. They're expensive as hell and heavily regulated, but if you undergo the process, you can own an M16 too.
Weapons are weapons of mass destruction, not the Second Amendment.
As defined by U.S. law, the definition of weapons of mass destruction is a destructive device such as an explosive or incendiary bomb, rocket, or grenade, a weapon that is designed to cause death or serious injury through toxic or poisonous chemicals, a weapon that contains a biological agent or toxin, or a weapon that is designed to release dangerous levels of radiation or radioactivity. Now, someone please tell me where an AR-15 fits in this definition. AR-15s account for less than 2% of gun deaths in this country, while over 90% of gun deaths are committed with handguns like that judge you were just talking about a minute ago. Yet you think AR-15s are weapons of mass destruction. Not to mention the third most deadly mass shooting we've ever had was in 2007 at Virginia Tech, and the shooter only used a 9mm handgun and a little .22 to do it.
And think about this. When they wrote the Second Amendment, there was no such thing as an AR-15. There was no such thing as an M16. So the framers of the Constitution were not talking about guns that could cause that much carnage in such little time. So, I don't know why, but to have...
When the framers wrote the Second Amendment, They just got done fighting a revolutionary war using the most modern rifles of their time. They were literally using weapons of war and decided to protect the use of said weapons in the Second Amendment. So you're telling me that the same people who had enough foresight and brilliance to put together one of the most brilliant documents in history were also too stupid and short-sighted to realize that guns would continue to advance and become more modern? I don't hear you saying anything about how they were talking about the internet when they wrote the First Amendment, which, if there was going to be something that the framers could not foresee, it would be the ability to conduct interviews using moving pictures between three people in different locations across the globe over the silly thing called the fucking internet.
Mr. Colin Noir. You can find him at Mr. Colin Noir. That's MrColionnnoir.com. Amazing guy. Nice piece. Hey, stick around. One of my favorite anti-gun songs is coming up. The artist is actually Joe Biden. If you haven't heard it before, you are going to find it quite entertaining. I guarantee you that. Right after the news, stick around. I'm John James.
From the Home Auto Group Studios, Farmington Ford and Franklin Chrysler in Farmington. This is WSKW, Skowhegan, Augusta, Waterville, Legacy 1160.
ABC News, I'm Jim Ryan. The White House says President Trump could be discharged from Walter Reed Medical Center as soon as today. But Dr. Ashish Jha, dean of the Brown University School of Public Health, raises some questions about that timeline.
He needs to be isolated for at least 10 days after his symptom onset. So he's got another 6-7 days of isolation, whether that happens at Walter Reed or the White House.
Among the treatments for the president is a steroid, which doctors say is usually used on more advanced COVID cases. Concern this morning for Secret Service agents who were in the SUV as President Trump broke quarantine and had himself driven around Walter Reed Medical Center to wave to supporters last night. Dr. James Phillips, the chief of disaster medicine at George Washington University and a non-military attending physician at Walter Reed, says,
I have serious concerns that in any automobile, masks or no masks, there's a very high risk of transmission.
In the Caribbean, Tropical Storm Gamma is now blamed for at least 6 deaths in Mexico. This is ABC News. Announced this morning in Stockholm, this year's Nobel Prize in Medicine.
To Harvey J. Alter, Michael Horton, and Charles M. Rice for the discovery of hepatitis C virus.
Thomas Perlman is Secretary General of the Nobel Committee. The coronavirus takes another big bite out of the entertainment industry. ABC's Chris Watson has the story.
It's a done deal. Regal Cinemas owner Cineworld confirms they're temporarily closing all 526 Regal Cinemas locations in America, as well as 127 theaters in the UK as of this Thursday. The news first broke Friday, but as recently as Sunday, Cineworld tweeted they were only considering shuttering their screens. The ongoing pandemic has all but eliminated moviegoing and delayed the release of potential blockbusters, most recently the James Bond flick No Time to Die. I'm Christopher Watson, ABC News.
And Coca-Cola is getting into the coffee business, starting in 2021 with a new drink, Coke blended with Brazilian coffee. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents and Doug.
Limu, I love how we're always looking out for each other. Kind of like how Liberty Mutual looks out for you by customizing your home insurance. So you only pay for what you need.
Limu, why didn't you tell me about the uncovered manhole? I was literally just telling you. Limu, I had no idea you could swim.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Care. Whether it's your business or your family's health, the more care you put in, the better it will be. United Healthcare knows the difference care can make. It's why we offer plans that support your physical and mental health. And it's why we connect you to care whenever you need it with 24/7 virtual care. Because like you, United Healthcare knows what care can do. United Healthcare. Plan benefits may vary.
It's time for the truth, and you found the home of it right here.
My name is Ted Nugent, and these are my rules of engagement. Trample the weak, hurdle the dead, destroy evil, win the damn war. Quick, identify the threat to America and destroy it.
Here's your truth-telling, freedom-loving, flag-waving host, John James.
Had to find my flag. I got it. By the way, I didn't do show and tell on my, did I? Maybe I did, on my Trump hat. Like that, I got that. Is this my Trump hat? Can't even tell. Yeah, it is. Okay. My eyeballs aren't that great. So, yeah, I got this over at Fieldstone. They've got T-shirts. They've got, what was it? Hell yes, I voted for Trump T-shirts. They've got a bunch of different styles of hats. They've got stickers. Fieldstone variety in China, right at the Sunoco station. Sunoco. They've got a Subway. Subway. They've got a Dunkin' Donuts, and it's a convenience store as well. I didn't see any Biden gear in there. I don't think people have been asking for it by name either, really. Because Biden isn't a rock star. Well, I mean, really. I mean, did you see people wearing George W. Bush hats? You saw maybe there was some Barack Obama stuff. Barack Obama was a rock star, especially when he first came to light back in 2007, became running for president. He was a rock star, but and Bill Clinton to an extent was a rock star. But there's been none. And I say that, I don't say that as a supporter of either of those two men. I'm just saying, to their base, they were rock stars. They had charisma. They had chutzpah. They had likability. I actually kind of like Bill Clinton personally. I thought he was pretty funny, actually. I think he's very funny today, but for, differing reasons. But Donald Trump is a rock star, more so than even Obama and Clinton, I think. I mean, Ronald Reagan, you have to be the right personality to be considered a rock star in politics, because there aren't many. Donald Trump is the quintessential rock star in politics, though. I don't want to take anything away from Joe Biden. Joe Biden did do a hell of an anti-gun song. Actually, what Joe didn't do the song, I've got to give credit where credit is due. The song was actually performed by a guy named Darren Criss with clips of Joe Biden in it. Because Joe Biden said, remember he said, buy a shotgun. He has that old man sound to him. Always that buy a shotgun. You go and you blast a couple of shots into the air. Double barrel shotgun. You remember that? It was so laughable. A shotgun. Because like Colleen Noir said, a shotgun, you want to identify what you're shooting at. This Cedric Maxwell, this legislator, wanted to get a Taurus judge because it shoots 410 shot shells, or as he called them, 401. So he could shoot through the door. Sure, maybe your kid is in trouble coming to visit. Maybe somebody needs help on the road and they're pounding on your door. They've hurt themselves. So you're gonna assume it's somebody there for no good, and without seeing them, you're gonna shoot through the door. Idiot. 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 This is why the Democrats who think they know a lot about, some Democrats do. I'm not taking that away from Democrats. There are some real supporters in the Democrat Party of the Second Amendment. But by and large, it's the Democrats who want gun control and know nothing about guns or gun safety, clearly. So anyway, this is Darren Criss, and he's playing the guitar and he's singing. And we've got some little excerpts. I'm going to post the video after I play the song because it's actually got Joe Biden in the video. And this is absolutely hilarious. This is about the shotgun. Buy a shotgun. Joe Biden and Darren Criss.
I have 2 shotguns at my home. They're locked in a safe. There's a metal gun case We live in an area that's wooded, somewhat secluded. And I said, Jill, if there's ever a problem, just walk out on the balcony and fire 2 blasts outside the house.
Buy a shotgun. Buy a shotgun.
You don't need a machine gun. You don't need 30 rounds. Buy a shotgun.
Buy a double barrel shotgun. No, you don't need a flamethrower, and you don't need a tank, and you don't need an AR-15 to scare those thugs away. No, and I don't need a grenade launcher. I don't need an F-15. There's just one thing I need to do, and they'll stay away from me. Fire 2 blasts outside the house. Buy a shotgun. Buy a shotgun. Buy a shotgun. Jill, buy a shotgun, baby.
You don't need a machine
You
gun.
don't need a machine
You don't
gun.
need 30
Way
rounds.
too many
Buy a
rounds.
shotgun.
Buy a double barrel
Shotgun. Fire 2 blasts outside the house.
Buy a shotgun. Buy a shotgun.
You don't need a machine gun. You don't need 30 rounds.
Buy a shotgun. Buy a double barrel shotgun.
All right, the video is posted at my page. Just refresh it, and it'll be there. You can watch it later. It's absolutely, oh shush, it's absolutely hilarious. Just to see Joe Biden, and they're doing the duet there. It's very well done. It's 11:10 here on Legacy 1160 WSKW. If you want to reach out and get in touch with us, you can do it by text. You can do it by Facebook. You can do it by phone. Live long. And Reagan was a rock star, the great communicator. He was a great communicator. And I guess there was some Reagan memorabilia out there. He really brought a lot of pride back to America. He did. Thank you for bringing that up. I shouldn't discount Ronald Reagan when I'm talking about rock star presidents. But we had some that were clearly, the absolute opposite of rock star. I mean, Gerald Ford, Richard Nixon, Jimmy Carter, George H.W. Bush, George W. Bush, Lyndon Johnson. John F. Kennedy was a rock star. John Kennedy was a rock star. We're talking about rock stars, but Reagan should be counted in there too. He was a 2-term president, and he really, a lot of people on the left, of course, didn't like him and don't like the legacy he left, but he brought a lot of pride back to the country when we needed it, as Donald J. Trump is trying to do. But he, unlike Ronald Reagan, he is being excoriated and kept under continuous investigation and threats of impeachment by the Democrats. And I posted something yesterday compiled by Sean Hannity, the things that Donald Trump has done during his term. I want to read a few of these off. I was amazed. I couldn't have named all of these things, but and I think about them, and they are all correct. They are all right. The things Donald Trump has done so far in his single term as president. And one of the biggest things could still be yet to come if Amy Coney Barrett is confirmed to the Supreme Court of the United States. Boy, I guess I was doing a lot of posting this weekend because I can't seem to find it. Well, it's somewhere, but it was just an exhaustive list of all the things Donald Trump has accomplished in 4 years. And I thought it was right. I thought it was right here. I thought I just posted it yesterday, but I can't find it. Oh, well, maybe it was on a different page. That must be what it was. It's 11:13 now on Legacy 1160 WSKW. And see where we are here. I've lost my place. Imagine that. Oh, MSNBC, an epiphany. They had an epiphany. It's about time. It's about time. Now, over the past few years, MSNBC, CNN, all the networks, all of the writers for the leftist, deplorable websites like their Vox, VOX, Vox.com, Salon.com, Huffington Post. They've been trying to dismiss Donald Trump's border wall as not really new because there's already a barrier there, and they haven't built that much. I've got to tell you, the barrier that they're referring to that was already there was shoddy, it was ineffective. It needed to be replaced. How shoddy was it? Well, let's put it this way. I saw some of the pictures in this story of the existing barrier, which Jacob Soboroff, the NBC reporter who was there to do the story, saw. It's so shoddy and so simple, literally a 6-year-old kid could jump over it. That's the barrier. I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you. If you're anything over 3 feet tall, you would have no problem getting over the border. If you were under 3 feet tall, you could easily limbo underneath it. It was basically like a sawhorse and a board going across it. That was the barrier to keep miscreants out, to keep illegal aliens out. That is being replaced with a big, beautiful wall. Last Thursday, MSNBC host Katie Tur, Trump hater, and correspondent Jacob Soboroff admitted they had made an error in judging the new wall, and they fretted over the consequences of the new and improved border wall, meaning people cannot come here illegally anymore. With this wall in place, they're going to have a hard time getting through illegally. Damn America. America sucks because we aren't open to anybody who wants to come here. Good. Here is the sound of an epiphany. This is a little bit of the report, followed by Katie Tur and Jacob Soboroff, and this is from MSDNC.
I think there's a tendency for people who are anti the president to say he's failed in his building of the wall.
As far as him failing, no, he didn't fail. He's building the wall. Like, he's doing exactly what he said he would do.
Katie, I really appreciate you guys airing this whole report. It was really revelatory, frankly, for me to be there and to see this. Whether it is new wall or replacement wall, dismissing any of it is a mistake. When you talk to people on the ground, they say that whether it's the environment, whether it's migration, whether it's wildlife, the impacts of this are going to be extremely significant. And the president, as you heard there, is doing exactly what he promised he was going to do.
Elections have consequences. Jacob Soboroff, happy to air a piece like that.
Oh, Katie Tur warning elections have consequences. If you want an evil wall built, then you go ahead and elect Trump. If you, on the other hand, want people to flow freely, like we're an open Walmart, then you want Joe Biden because he cares. He is not going to cage children like animals. He is not going to make them drink out of toilets. But that big wall is going to keep people out because Trump is evil. Bad orange man. Orange man bad. Elections do have consequences. If you want open borders, more homeless people, including homeless vets, if you want illegal aliens taking our benefits and destroying our country, then vote for Joe and Kamala. And all of the un-American socialist types who they will bring with them. If you want law, order, freedom, and individualism, you know what the other choice is. Pretty simple, really. Making a big deal out of it. Well, this is going to be the most essential voting time ever in the history of America, and it's necessary we vote by mail. They're making it so complicated. You aren't going to get the COVID by going to the polls. They know how to social distance. They will do it right. They will make sure that nobody is in peril. You can do it. It's not that complicated. It shouldn't be made to be so complicated. Now, mail-in voting, very complicated, very rife with fraud, as we've seen in Houston, as we have seen in Minnesota. Already, hundreds of thousands, over 1 million votes. We've seen votes for Donald Trump in the trash. We've seen it. We have seen Democrat operatives out buying the votes of elderly people through the mail-in voting process. We've seen it, and they deny it, but they can't. They can deny it, and a certain number of the electorate are going to lap it up, and they're going to believe it because Orange Man bad, Orange Man trying to say voting by mail dangerous. It is. Do you want your vote to count? There's the bottom line. Do you want your vote to count? Get the hell out to the polls and cast your vote. Or do an absentee ballot where there is a paper trail. There's a story about a Democrat that tried to get a ballot for his late wife. I don't remember what state it is, where it was. I came across it this morning. It's a brand new news story. How many of these cases are there in the United States of America? There are no scruples by many of these people, no morals. When you're dealing with an electorate that can go on Facebook, can go on Twitter, and wish the president dead of COVID-19, you know you're dealing with a horribly low morale, low moral group of people. Absolutely no problem whatsoever making some sort of illegal voting possible. When they go so far as to wish the president's death, what do you think they are or aren't capable of? There's barely anything they aren't capable of. 1121 here on Legacy 1160 WSKW. And Charlie Kirk, you know who Charlie Kirk is. You've heard about him quite a bit. He is the founder of Turning Point USA. It's his organization that the college in Binghamton last year or early this year, maybe, the college conservatives were outside the school. They actually weren't on school grounds. They were on public grounds on the sidewalk outside the school there in Binghamton. And they were trying to recruit people for the organization, the conservative organization founded by Charlie Kirk, Turning Point USA. And they were attacked by the mob. The leftist students at the school came out yelling, screaming, swearing, tipping over tables, throwing papers, and telling them they are not welcome. They are not welcome to exercise their rights as citizens, as Americans, because they can't take free speech unless it's their own. Then it's uber free. Their speech is so free, they can say whatever they want and they can shut yours down. That's how free their speech is. Their free speech trumps your free speech. You don't have any. We don't have any. So, Charlie Kirk, speaking here, even now, well after the first debate, Donald Trump is being incorrectly criticized for not denouncing white supremacy, which is a lie. Charlie Kirk did a great job on this piece going over that particular part of the debate, bit by bit by bit, to prove that Donald Trump absolutely did denounce white supremacy. It wasn't just in the emotional way the leftists wanted to see. They wanted to see him say, oh, white supremacists, they ought to die. They ought to die a horrible, nasty death. They would have probably found some way to criticize that, but they would have liked that more than they did his way of denouncing it. So they said he didn't denounce it. And they were wrong. They were lying as usual. Here is Charlie Kirk making a case, and a very good one at that. Listen.
I think the president was. Hey, everybody. I'm sure you all saw the debate of President Donald Trump versus Chris Wallace and Joe Biden. I think the president really held his own. He made some phenomenal points about the brutality of these lockdowns. I think the president was right to call out Hunter Biden and his Eastern European prostitution trafficking scheme where he got $3.5 million. I'm seeing a lot of people, though, posting on social media say Donald Trump didn't denounce white supremacy. This is a lie. It was a chaotic moment. President Trump was being attacked and ambushed by two people at once. So let's just read the transcript, right? Let's read the transcript. Chris Wallace, are you willing tonight to condemn white supremacist and militia groups? Trump, sure. Wallace, and to say that they need to stand down and not add to the violence in a number of these cities that we saw in Kenosha and we've seen in Portland. Well, first of all, before we go any further, it is BLM Inc. and the left-wing groups that are doing this, not right-wing groups. Anyway, President Trump answered it correctly. Sure, I'm prepared to do it. But I would say almost everything I see is from left-wing, not from the right-wing. I'm willing to do anything. I just want peace. Wallace, well then do it, sir. Biden, do it. Say it. Trump, well, what do you call them? Give me a name. Wallace, white supremacists and right-wing militias. At the same time, Biden says, Proud Boys. Trump says, okay, Proud Boys, stand back, stand by. But I'll tell you what, somebody's got to do something about Antifa and the left. And I will go back and repeat. Are you willing tonight to condemn white supremacist and militia groups? Sure. Are you willing to say they need to stand down? Sure, I'm prepared to do it. Then do it, sir. Then do it. Sure. That's the transcript. People are lying about the president intentionally. If you read the transcript, he said it 3 times that he clearly denounced white supremacy. They also peddled the Charlottesville lie, where President Trump said there's good people on both sides. He never said that in the context. Even PolitiFact called that a pants on fire lie. He said there were good people on both sides of the statue debate in University of Virginia. Did you know that the organizer of the Charlottesville debate, Richard Spencer, do you know that he endorsed Joe Biden, not Donald Trump? Do you know that there's white supremacists out there for Joe Biden? Do you know the white supremacist community actually likes Joe Biden a lot more than Donald Trump? Just go look and see who Richard Spencer is supporting for the presidency of the United States. Do not believe the activist media as they attack our president. There's plenty of legitimate types of feedback that people can give. Whatever. I might not agree with that, but that's fine. But do not say the president didn't denounce white supremacy. Do not say for a second that the president is engaging with these hate groups. And then, by the way, oh yeah, Biden said that Antifa is just an idea. Antifa is a domestic terror organization. They have bank accounts. They have a hierarchy. They have leaders. We've arrested hundreds of members of Antifa. Joe Biden is lying about it because that is the base of the Democrat Party. And if Antifa was not a real thing, why is it they had 100+ days of rioting and protesting in the streets? Why is Antifa just an idea? When I was eating breakfast with Candace Owens and they came up and they stormed us out of the breakfast place? Donald Trump denounced white supremacy. Joe Biden is endorsed by white supremacists. Remember, the Republican Party passed the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment. The Democrats, they opposed the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment. The Democrats were racist then. They're racist now. Oh, yeah, Joe Biden, when you called Donald Trump a racist, why is it that you said that black people are not black if they don't vote for you? Hold the line. Defend truth. Thanks so much, everybody. God bless you. Talk to you soon.
Charlie Kirk, Turning Point USA. It was a lie. And the whole Charlottesville thing, that is a lie that just keeps gaining traction, doesn't it? I knew from the very moment he said that what he was talking about, and they did too. They knew too. But you've got blowhards on shows like The View, Joy Blowhar, And you've got MSNBC, Katie Tur and Rachel Maddow and Joe Scarborough and Joyless Reed on there calling Donald Trump racist because he said there were good people on both sides. He was not talking about white supremacists, and they knew it. But it didn't matter. It didn't matter. They had the bully pulpit, and they had the lies all ready to go, and they were talking with CNN, and they were talking with all the other networks. Mark my words, they talk. Okay, here's the narrative we're going to push, that Donald Trump meant that there were good people in the white supremacist movement. We're all going to report that, so it'll be true because we're all going to be doing the same thing. And sure enough, it happened. Perception became reality when it was a total and complete lie. Just like everything Joe Biden says. And they talk about Donald Trump lying, and they treat Joe Biden like he is as pure as the driven snow. Well, newsflash, he is a corrupt son of a gun. Peter Schweitzer, Profiles in Corruption, read it. Read the part about Kamala Harris. Read the part about Joe Biden. Read the part about Bernie Sanders. Learn about these people. You may not be as impressed when you find out who they really are. It's 11:31. Back with more. Don't go anywhere. I'm John James.
Legacy 1160, WSKW.
Electrical repair should never be done without the knowledge of how to do it safely. Better yet, skip that stress and let Kennebec Electric and Lighting take care of it for you. Kennebec Electric has offered professional electric and lighting service and expert installation in homes and businesses for over 37 years, and they stand behind that experience with a guarantee on all their work. Kennebec Electric and Lighting. Contact them for all your electric and lighting servicing, including installations and repairs at 861-7028 or online at KennebecElectric.com.
Take it to Moody's. Take it to Moody's Collision Center.
If your car is a wreck and you don't know where to go,
take it to Moody's.
You want to get on with your life, get on with the show,
take it to Moody's.
Your kid was talking on the cell phone, drove right through your own home, sitting in the parking lot. Maybe you get hit a lot, driving through the green light. Suddenly your side swipe, put it in reverse, but it turned out that it was first.
Take it to Moody's. Take it to Moody's Collision Centers.
Explore the wild side of Maine in a Jeep from Haight Chrysler Dodge Jeep. And now is the perfect time to get a new Jeep at a great deal during Jeep Adventure Days. Now through the end of October at Haight Chrysler Dodge Jeep, 507 Lakewood Road, Clowes Corner, Madison.
I'm CBS 13 meteorologist Lexi O'Connor. Cloudy with areas of fog this morning, then developing sun. It will be brightest and warmest away from the coast. Low 70s at the coast, mid 70s to near 80 degrees further inland. Rain moves in tonight into tomorrow. It will also be windy, clearing during the afternoon. Highs in the low 70s, mostly sunny, less humid for Thursday.
Your pep rally for freedom is back. Powered by the Gun Shop in Augusta on Coney Circle. Now, here's John James.
It's 11:33 right now on Legacy 1160 WSKW. And this is your pep rally for freedom. Thank you to Adam and Crystal and the gang at the Gun Shop for sponsoring the show. Yes, they have AR-15s, which can be used to hunt, as Jeff Zimba has proven with his big bull moose he got this past week. Congratulations to Jeff, and a proof that an AR-15 can be used for a big game hunting rifle, even though it's a very small bullet, comparatively speaking, when you're comparing to a 30-06 or a 30-30 or one of the bigger hunting rifles. It is certainly can do the job with a properly placed shot if you are any good. And Jeff, obviously, is a very good shot. We've got 11:34 right now. One of the big things happening in Washington, D.C., one of the biggest things happening right now, and there are so many big things. How do you pick one? I mean, you've got COVID-19 going on, and you've got all the debate over that, whether the Congress should be tested or not, and whether or not the Senate hearing should go on for Amy Coney Barrett. And you have got the biggest overarching thing in all of this, I think, right now is that particular hearing and the hopeful subsequent nomination to the Supreme Court of Amy Coney Barrett. And our senator, we know what way Angus King's going to go. Angus King is a Democrat. No, don't give me the independent. He's not. He calls himself an independent because that is more palatable to everybody. To those who don't pay close attention, I will tell you, Angus King is a great speaker. He's a great speaker. He's a nice guy. But I've got to tell you, he is about as blue as they get. And the independent moniker on him looks good to those who are somewhat moderate or those who don't follow politics that closely and remember him as governor. Say, well, everybody seemed to like Angus King. So, yeah, he's got our vote. He's a Democrat. He is going to be voting against. He'll vote down on Amy Coney Barrett. But so will Susan Collins, who voted for Judge Kavanaugh to become Justice Kavanaugh. But I still, and people say, well, we should try to vote for a third-party candidate this election, that Susan Collins doesn't deserve our vote. Well, I'm here to say third-party candidate number one is going nowhere. Zero. No chance. You're wasting a vote. You might as well not go out and vote. In fact, it might be better if you don't go out and vote, if you're going to vote for a third-party candidate, an independent. But who are you going to vote for, Max Lynn or the woman who wants to turn BIW into a solar panel factory? Is that who you're going to vote for if you don't vote for Susan Collins? Come on. You can't vote for Sarah Gideon. You can't do it. You can't do it. And think it's going to be good for Maine. It's not. Because Susan Collins, while she is not going to help us with this particular Supreme Court nominee, she said she won't. Sarah Gideon is never going to help us with any Supreme Court nominee or anything else that we might come up against. I mean, she is basically Angus King. We'd be all Democrats. We'd have King. We would have Gideon. We would have Pingree. We would have probably, I hate to think it, but probably Jared Golden. I like Dale Crafts. I really, really like Dale Crafts. I will vote for Dale Crafts in a heartbeat. I don't even have to think about that. But do I think he's going to win? I have serious questions about that. Do I think he'd be a great candidate, a great man for the job? Yes, I do. I really want, and I'm not just because I wanted her, I wanted to see Adrienne Bennett. I think she would have had a really, really good shot at taking Jared Golden's House seat. Dale Crafts, I hope and I pray, but we'll see. And the negativity coming out of Susan Gideon's campaign is disingenuous at best, outright lies at worst. I have looked up a couple of them. I've got Mikkel on the phone this morning, who is, you're just livid about the lies Sarah Gideon is telling, aren't you?
Oh, my friggin' word.
Yeah.
Okay, so my grandmother was born in 1901, and her favorite saying was, "Oh, my shattered nerves." So I have to shorten that down to friggin' A.
There you go. Yeah.
So, and one more fun fact. I have a whole lot of Scottish ancestry. And did you know that the G is often silent in names?
So it'd be Sarah Idion?
No, it would be, we're talking about Angus King.
Oh, Angus King. Oh,
silent.
ain't it? Okay, all right. Okay, I see where you're going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Gideon, what a pathological, unabashed liar she is.
Oh, she is a liar, and she's also a tax and spend liberal, beyond the pale. I mean, she wants to tax gas by how much? And this has been fact checked. She and the governor want to tax gas, 45, 50 cents a gallon, so people won't drive as much,
right?
Because we got to save the planet.
And where's that tax money going to go, buddy?
It's going to go toward the Green New Deal. It's going to go toward green initiatives. It's going to go to build windmills. It's going to go to build solar panels.
And how does one build windmills and solar panels?
Well, if the other candidate, I forget her name, has her way, they're going to turn BIW into a place to build solar panels. You mean
a process of building windmills and solar panels?
Absolutely.
What does that require?
It requires a lot of fossil fuels. Absolutely. Factories.
Plastic.
Yeah.
Electricity for, running the factories.
Yeah.
As I have told you, I used to work for a company that, did manufacturing and had robotic stations, because that's what we did, automated, because that reduces the cost of production. And all that requires huge amounts of three-phase electricity to run furnaces, to run the machines. They can't wait for the wind to blow, the sun to shine. I just don't understand.
Well, no, it makes no sense. It makes no sense at all. And until they start to, and some of them are, believe it or not, starting to embrace a little bit nuclear power. Although Gavin Newsom in California wants to they want to get rid of any talk of nuclear power. Oh, and by the way, gas-powered automobiles are going to be illegal in California starting in 2035. Did you know that?
Oh, yes, I did.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, up here along the Kennebec, in the communist Republic of Maine, there's not a whole lot of charging stations around. So I'm not quite sure how those battery cars are going to function. And some of our roads are a little bit less than par.
Oh, you think? You think? Well, I tell you what, we do have a Tesla. If you drive a Tesla, and by the way, unlike regular gas stations, where you can pull into any gas station that sells gasoline and fill up, you can't pull into a Tesla station with your Prius and recharge.
That is correct.
I am all for R&D. I am all for trying to make the environment cleaner. I hate the leftists trying to use this to get elected and for nothing else. They know, Mikkel, they know as well as you and I know that this is all nothing more than a scare tactic to get them elected. Vote for us or you're going to die is what they are basically trying to tell us. And people are so dumb. So dumb. They are saying, oh my God, we need people like AOC and Bernie and Sarah Gideon and Janet Mills who care about us and our environment or we're all going to be dead. Give me a break.
Well, I wish I could, but, unfortunately, our Maine citizens voted for this rankled choice voting BS.
What a debacle.
It's all on the shoulders. Well, a lot of it is on the shoulders of Matt Dunlap because he worded the question so obtusely. I don't even think somebody who went to college and then failed and then came back and got a master's degree could figure out what the hell that was supposed to be about.
Oh, it was stupid. Nobody I talked to understood what they were voting for. They had no idea how that ever got approved. I will never know. I just do not understand how he approved that. And I like Matt. I really do. He's a Democrat, but he's a good guy. He's a sportsman. He's pro-gun and all that. I like him, but I question his ability to make decisions based on your average blue-collar Mainer, which is what most of us are. I mean, this question was clearly directed at the attorneys and the elite among us because I could make no sense of it. I only knew how to vote at the time because I was told if you don't want it to pass, you have to vote. I can't remember whether it was yes or no.
Yeah, you had to vote yes.
Yes, if you want to get rid of it.
If you want to keep it, you had to vote no.
Okay. And I remember knowing what I had to vote. And I remember going in knowing that, reading the question, and all of a sudden being confused, questioning whether that was right. That's how bogus it was. And I know there are a lot of people listening who probably didn't even vote on that or maybe don't remember it, but I sure do. It got passed because it confused the hell out of everybody. And now that we've got it, people are confused when they go to the poll and voting, which is a constitutional right and, in my mind, a duty of citizens who want to take part in government. It is a disqualifier for many who don't get it and won't vote because they don't know what to do. I've heard from 2 people who said, I'm not going to vote because I don't understand what I am supposed to do with ranked choice voting. I'm confused. I'm not voting. And that's sad. That is pathetic.
Yep. And this is like that series that I told you about on YouTube, Spectre of Communism.
Spectre of Communism. Yeah, I'm going to watch that. Maybe today. Today.
Well, it's a 10-part series.
Okay. All right.
Each part is about 20 minutes long. And it's on YouTube at the moment. So that's why you need to get on there really quick because they're probably going to eliminate it. But
I'll download it. I'll have it.
Tell your listeners this is not a biased documentary. It's just this is the history. This is the process. This is what they're doing. And this is why we're in the horrible mess we're in America, is because this started in 1940. And, the 1900s was the Bolshevik Revolution in Russia, and that gave us the USSR. And then 1940 was the Mao, what was it? The transition, the thing about social, I can't remember the words. The Mao transition from, historical Chinese traditions to, making it into communism.
Right.
And then that spread down to Southeast Asia. And then other countries, adopted this. I mean, this is a cancer that has been spreading over the world since Marx wrote his the
manifesto.
In, 1890 something.
Mm.
And then Zelensky solidified it into the rules of radicals in the 1930s.
Yep.
And everybody forgets, what does Nazi stand for? Nazi stands for the National Organization of Socialist Workers. And because there's a language barrier, we have those different letters.
Right. N-A-Z-I, right.
Yeah. People.
I'd forgotten that. Yeah.
This is why history is so important.
History is so very important. I encourage critical. Do you have YouTube? I'm sorry, not YouTube. Netflix.
No, I used once they hired Obamas to be on the board of directors, and they came out with that crap, and then I see that they came out with the pedophile movie about.
Oh yeah, the cuties.
Cuties.
Yeah.
I canceled it months ago.
Yeah. Now there's still some good stuff on there.
I know, but the problem is every dime that you spend on Netflix.
I know.
Goes to those horrific.
Unfortunately, whenever we buy something anywhere, even at local stores who sell national products, I'm not faulting any of the stores, local or national stores. They sell the products that they get from the distributors, from the corporations, and many of the products they sell go to benefit different governments, different types of socialist, communist mindsets. Anybody who buys from Amazon is helping socialism because Jeff Bezos is a socialist.
And that's why I don't do Amazon. I don't do Burger King. I don't do McDonald's. I don't do Walmart. I can run down.
Yeah, I know. I understand.
300 plus companies that have donated publicly to BLM and Antifa.
Absolutely.
Oh, and by the way, your listeners, punch in Antifa.com.
It goes to Joe Biden. Yeah, it goes to Joe Biden's campaign.
But Antifa is just an idea that's burning down those cities and killing cops and murdering citizens.
Oh, we know it's more than an idea. We absolutely do. It's just another Biden lie. Just another one of Biden and the left's many, many lies.
Yeah, well, this is just... I mean, I don't want to go all biblical on you, but...
No. Well, that's what we are, you know?
This is what Satan's cause was.
Yeah.
You know, ever since the Garden of Eden. And it's just ramping up. You remember the old ancient civilizations that used to sacrifice children to their gods?
Oh, yeah.
What do you think abortion is?
That's exactly right. Who are they sacrificing to, though? They're sacrificing for their own greater good, and they aren't considering there's another life at stake there. And we could do a whole show on that. Could do a whole show on that. And it's...
a whole week of...
Yeah. It's horrible. It is absolutely horrible. And there are women who've had abortions who now regret it, and I don't hate them for it. They were at a different place in their life. It's the enablers who I dislike. The enablers who make it possible, who say it's a woman's right, it's her choice. And you've got men saying it's a woman's right, it's her choice. Well, what about a man's choice? They lose their man card in my mind because it took a man to make a baby. Why does the man get no say? Why is it just a woman? And it's not, by the way, it's a woman and a child. It's beyond understanding, Mikkel. I don't get it.
I don't either. It takes two to tango, and again, just this. The man and a woman.
Yep.
Holy matrimony, and that makes the procreation, and there was a reason for that, and that's what the communists and the devil does is they eliminate. The first thing is to eliminate nuclear family, take over the education, take care of the media.
Yep.
These are all the steps, and we're just blindly saying, okay.
And this is what the Democrats are doing to the hurting communities, the black communities.
John, I have to correct you.
Yes.
They're not demon rats. They're not Democrats. They're demon rats.
Demon rats. See, I won't. I have to be real careful. I don't want to call them that. I want to be respectful, but at the same time, I'm going to call out stupidity. You know me.
You cannot be respectful of evil. You have to call evil what it is by its face. Otherwise, you're complicit.
Oh, I
understand you have the FCC rules.
Oh, no, the FCC doesn't care. Facebook will shut us down. But the FCC doesn't care.
Well,
I don't think. I guess we can find out, and I guess we may.
No, don't find out. You're too important.
Well, thank you, buddy. Well, listen, I got to run. We're getting short on time, but I appreciate your call.
God bless you. God bless America. God needs to save Maine.
Yeah, God bless you, Mikkel. And Spectre of Communism, YouTube. I'll check it out, my friend.
Yeah, work on it.
I will.
One episode at a time.
I sure will. Take care, sir.
Bye.
Bye-bye. It's 11:54. Back with more. We've got to take a quick break here. This is a very quick break. About 2.5 minutes. We'll wrap things up here. I'm John James, and this is your pep rally for freedom.
1160 WSKW.
And our next item up for bid is...
Does it ever feel like Washington, D.C. has turned into one big auction?
We'll be starting the bidding at $400,000.
Senators and congressmen working more for the special interests than the people who sent them there.
At $500,000 now.
Take Susan Collins. She's taken over $400,000 from pharmaceutical companies and voted to delay generic medication coming to the market, costing Mainers millions.
Thank you for the bid. $1 million. Can I get $1 million?
She's taken $1.2 million from insurance companies and voted 7 times to allow them to discriminate against people with pre-existing conditions.
Can I get $2 million? $2 million.
In total, Susan Collins has taken $6 million from corporate PACs, more than anyone in Maine's history. No wonder she voted to give corporations and the wealthy a $2 trillion tax break. Susan Collins.
So
she's not for you anymore.
I'm Sarah Gideon, running for U.S. Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Sarah Gideon from Maine.
I want to tell you about the incredible items you can find at Townline Antiques, but there's no match for seeing them in person and reliving those wonderful memories for yourself. Now is the perfect time to shop through their great selection of furniture, artwork, classic electronics, sports memorabilia, jewelry, books, glassware, home decor, and so much more. Take home a little something to decorate a room with style, add to your collection, or share a wonderful memory of your past with friends and family. Townline Antiques open Tuesday through Sunday from 10 to 5, Route 201, right on the Winslow-Vassalboro Town Line.
Take it to Moody's. Take it to Moody's Collision Center. If your car is a wreck and you don't know where to go, take it to Moody's. You want to get on with your life, get on with the show, take it to Moody's. Good people you can trust, and it won't be your fault. Take it to Moody's Collision Centers. M-O-O-D-Y. Your kid was talking on the cell phone, drove right through your own home, sitting in the parking lot. Maybe you get hit a lot, driving through the green light. Suddenly your side swipe, put it in reverse, but it turned out that it was first. Take it to Moody's. Take it to Moody's Collision Center.
Welcome back. All right. Sweet pea. Nice. All right. Sorry about that, Tommy. That was a nice song. I like that song. That was by accident. I was holding my phone up to the camera because I told you every time the Moody's commercial comes on, it activates Google for some reason. But this time, of course, I held the phone up to the camera and it didn't activate it. Maybe it has something to do with the positioning of the phone. I don't know. I just find it really, really kind of strange. But isn't that a good idea? You know, if they could think about this, think about what an amazing tool this would be. That in ads, they could either, you know, make a play where it was called for to say, okay, Google, or hey, Siri. Or they could hide, see.
I can also do an impression of a toaster.
Oh, okay. But you see what I'm saying? Or they could just embed it. You know, like, okay, Google. And it did it. It came up in an ad. And they could, like I showed you earlier, you could just have them Google whatever, or Siri could find whatever you wanted her to find, your business. You know, Google bicycles at Walmart. Okay, Google. Google bicycles at Walmart. And boom.
I found this on Walmart.com.
See? What a great, I just had a great idea. I am an advertising genius, I tell you. Not that I'm full of myself or anything like that, But I'll take the compliment. Thank you very much. Well, you're very welcome. And that's all the time we've got for today. Listen, I appreciate your being there. I really do. You are a friend to me and to America, really. If you're one who is out there trying to spread the truth of freedom, despite the pushback you are going to get. Boy, do I get it. Do I understand that now more than ever? And I understand the people who are afraid for their jobs, who don't put anything on social media. I get that as well, because nobody dares to take a side anymore. And that, my friend, is by design. That's how the left has designed it. If you take a conservative tack, then you are in danger of getting fired, getting kicked out of virtual school class. See what I'm saying? So I understand you've got to be really careful. But we do have to get the word out any way we can do it safely without causing yourself or your family any harm at all. But we can't be silenced. We are allowing the left to silence us, and we can't do it. We can't. We just can't. Stakes are too high. Speaking of steaks, I'm going to go have some of that beef jerky now. Have a great afternoon. Mike Violet here tomorrow morning at 6. I'll be here at 9 o'clock with another Freedom's Pep Rally. Have a great afternoon.
From the Home Auto Group Studios, Farmington Ford and Franklin Chrysler in Farmington. This is WSKW, Skowhegan, Augusta, Waterville, Legacy 1160.
ABC News, I'm Rena Roy. Even though everyone was wearing a mask, there's a lot of concern about the health of Secret Service agents in a vehicle with